I want to feel happy. I want to feel that, and I just don't.
Only with great pain can Tiffany Henderson view the images of her young self or reflect on her childhood.
I don't feel like I was ever a kid.
Well, no, how could you be
That's
when
a
somebody
sad
abused you?
Finally, at 37 years old, she had been comforted, knowing her stepfather, the sadistic man who raped and tortured her for almost 4 years as a child, was securely behind bars.
He should rot in jail.
Or so she thought, until the day she realized Richard McBrayer had been paroled. How is it possible that Tiffany is at a traffic light on Easter Sunday and looks over and sees this man, her attacker?
It's something out of a bad movie. I can't imagine how she must have felt at that moment when she realized, oh, there's my rapist. And now here he is in the street. And isn't it interesting that not only is he released without them giving her notification, but that he's released into her neighborhood?
Under Michigan state law, a victim must be notified 6 months prior to the release of an inmate. Tiffany says she would have shouted from the rafters to stop her brutal stepfather's release. How many parole hearings did you attend for him?
Since 2009, I've been to 11.
But tragically, this last time, she says the parole board didn't contact her.
And we could have appealed this and he would have never gotten out.
Carrie Angie should know. She's the former assistant prosecutor who succeeded in keeping McBrayer, an ex-cop and a registered black belt, behind bars in a 2011 parole hearing.
I've never seen a case this bad.
To add outrage to insult, McBrayer served only about half the maximum 40-year sentence. Did you think while he was out, he would come and get you?
Yes, I still believe that.
Tiffany says she's been tenaciously keeping tabs on her rapist, but the parole board insists it was diligent in reaching out to Tiffany about McBrayer's impending release, saying victim notification is taken seriously by the Michigan Department of Corrections and all the proper steps were taken in this case.
I'm not sure what kind of record they have of that. I haven't seen anything to prove that assertion.
What's the biggest injustice here?
It's known to them the kind of person he is. Not only do they have the full record in front of them, but they also have Tiffany appearing there every single time he comes up in person, tearfully relaying her memories of her childhood. He's danger to any child walking down the street. Look, this guy thinks he's smarter than all of us. He's a master manipulator, and eventually he's gonna grab another kid off the street.
And Angie says he's a trolling, unrepentant pedophile who disgustingly referred to raping Tiffany countless times as a love story. He was raping your daughter up to 4 times a day.
Yes. Take her down into the basement, which he built.
How close did you come to committing suicide?
Oh, I have scars on my wrist where I literally cut them.
What did he take from you?
Honestly, I feel like the person I was. He died the minute he touched me. I lost everything about myself.
Despite Tiffany's lifetime pain, the parole board set him free, even after he confessed to this. He has told his therapist that he continues to have interest in young girls, underage girls, and he blames Tiffany for the liaison.
How a parole board can listen to that and find reasonable assurances of public safety and then release him into the street is a mystery to me.
Is it possible that he's rehabilitated?
Never. First of all, he has to admit what he did. He's never admitted what he did to me. Never, not once.
For Tiffany, there is one small beam of bright light in her horrible nightmare. The circuit court has overturned the parole board's decision to release McBrayer early and threw him back in the county jail. That came after Tiffany filed a motion to have her former stepdad rearrested and to challenge the board's release. Angie says the original decision to release for good behavior and the rapist's claim of rehabilitation is nothing more than a con job.
He indicated that he was going to be moving to Louisiana. because he wanted to stay away from Tiffany and didn't want to be triggered by her. It was a non-existent address. And the next thing you know...
Well, shouldn't they haul him back into prison just for that?
I couldn't agree more. I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to let him out tomorrow.
If he gets out again, Tiffany fears for her own teenage daughter. She doesn't want McBrayer anywhere near her fragile life.
He used our love against each other. That's what he did. He used our love for each other against each other so that he didn't get caught. Because that's what they're like. And he's gonna be on the street and we're serving up our children to this monster.
Despite Tiffany's fears and despair, she's not about to give up. This was a 14-year-old girl who had the courage to put him behind bars by snaring him on tape, getting a near confession.
Hey, Mom, I'm pregnant. You have to come see me.
She's certainly not going to let this perverted monster get his claws on anyone else.
They took my right to appeal. They took my right to have my re-entry program.
Her nightmare has a reprieve, as McBrayer will sit behind bars until a decision is reached over whether he walks the streets again.
If the parole board does prevail here, and he does get let out, what are your biggest fears?
I'm immediately concerned for Tiffany and her family. I think it's pretty clear from the record that he intended on killing her mother. And you listen to that tape, Chris, it sounds to me like he intended on killing Tiffany as well.
What do you say to him now?
It doesn't matter what I have to do, how painful it is, how hard my life is when I am away from this camera and I live every day in fear, in pain, afraid for my daughter, I will fight to keep him in it. He pled guilty to 2 counts, so serve your time.
Now, we want to hear where you stand on this story. Do you think he did his time, or should this guy be forced to serve all 40 years of his sentence? Sound off now on our Facebook page.